Your phone is spying on you. I know, you probably had that thought. You're not crazy. I've experienced this as well. You're talking to someone about something. For example, the latest, greatest sports car out there. And the next thing you know, you go to get on your phone, and there are all these ads about sports cars. Like, how does that happen? I cannot tell you how many times my wife and I have said, this phone is listening to me. What the hell? Well, here's the what the hell. It actually is coming to the surface here. This is what people expected, but couldn't prove. Indeed, your phone was spying on you. This week, Apple agreed to pay $95 million to settle a class action lawsuit that accused them of eavesdropping on users who had accidentally activated Siri on their iPhones and other Apple devices. You see, the lawsuit was based on the fact that usually you have to say, hey Siri, and that wakes it up. And then you can start asking Siri questions and talking to it. Well, the lawsuit, or at least the accusations in the lawsuit, were that you no longer had to say, hey Siri, it was just recording you. This lawsuit got filed in Oakland, California, and enough people thought their conversations were being overheard just randomly that they started looking into this. That's where this allegation of the secretly turning on of the microphone came, and now what do you know? Believe it or not, Apple's settling. Now, there are a few things that really bother me about this, and about this lawsuit and about this settlement. First, while a $95 million settlement sounds like a lot of money, none of us will be getting rich from this. The settlement, if approved, will apply to consumers who owned a device with Siri on it for about a 10-year period, September of 2014 to the end of 2024. Get this, each consumer that was spied on, they'll receive up to $20. What? That bothers me. This amount isn't even a slap on the hands for a company that made over $700 billion in that same time period. A company that's estimated value is $3.7 trillion. Let me give you an example of what that means. That's 0.002% of Apple's earnings. So just to give you an example of what that means to you and I, if you make $75,000 a year and you had to pay a settlement equal to what Apple just did, you'd pay $1.93 in penalty. Okay, so this is not a big slap on the hand for Apple. The second thing that bothers me about this settlement that's part of the so-called win is that in the settlement, Apple has agreed to permanently delete any relevant individual audio recordings that were collected before October of 2019 and up to within 6 months of the settlement. They have to do this. Now here's what that means. They essentially may have been recording from September of 2014 to current, but they only have to delete to October of 2019 and back. Why aren't they just deleting all of the individual audio recordings? What's special about being able to keep those after October of 2019? That doesn't seem fair to me. Lastly, I think most bothersome to me is that Apple can pay this fine, this $95 million, that equals 0.002% of their earnings, and not acknowledge any wrongdoing in the settlement. This means that Apple has not admitted fault. They've not admitted recording people. They've not admitted that they've done anything wrong. They're just paying the money and it goes away. That protects them in many ways. They don't have to deal with many of the aspects of a breach of privacy lawsuit. Now, what could come about if there was a breach of privacy lawsuit that carried forward? Well, Apple could have to notify all affected individuals of the breach and what parts of their private information were compromised. They could have to deal with court-ordered implementation of privacy procedures, meaning the court would order them to do particular things. They also get to avoid punitive and potentially even criminal penalties depending on the extent of these recordings. These are just some of the things that get avoided through the course of settlement. Again, they don't admit wrongdoing and they don't have to do these things. They pay the $95 million and it all goes away. So, if you thought all along that your phone may be listening to you, you were right. I cannot wait to share this with my wife because I can't tell you how many times we said this. Breach of privacy is a big thing. Fortunately, we have protections in place that help us when things like this are discovered to make big corporations like this stop these policies, these procedures, these activities that invade our personal spaces. If you've ever had anything invade your personal space, if you have any questions, problems, or similar issues, please reach out to us at Ramos Law. We love helping people. We love doing what we do, and we'll be there for you.